in each and everything we do. And Lord, for the safety of our city, and bless our city, Lord, the businesses, the churches, and the people that live here in their homes, and the businesses. God, we give you honor and glory for each and every one of them. And Lord, bless the efforts of this committee, this board, this commission, and all things we do. Be mindful to seek thy advice. Be with those less fortunate, those who serve our nation. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we get started tonight, I'd like to introduce Mr. Stephen Colley. He is our new city manager. He's been with us for 3 or 4 weeks now. For those of y'all that's not met him, he's hitting the ground running, doing a great job. If any of you want to talk to him after the meeting, feel free. Do you have anything you'd like to say?
I'll be here all night. They stay around and talk.
We might want to mention the reception next month.
We will be having a reception, Mr. Colley, after next month's meeting.
It'll be the 17th of November, right?
You say so. Some more items of business. Last month, I don't know how many of you know, we had a protest in the city, and there was some concern from citizens, there was concern from the city, there was concern from the police, management, everybody, about how that may affect the city. I would like to tell you that everything went well. There was no violence. There was no interaction with the police and the protesters. Everything was handled in a very professional way. I would like to thank Holly Murphy. She was in the command center all evening. Didn't have to be there. She chose to be there because at the time she was the city manager. I'd also like to thank Mr. Collins. A week or so before he started, he even called and wanted to know if there was anything that he could do to help. So that told me that the man was interested in the job he was taking. Other people that was in that command center and on the site, a lot of people had questions, was the police department going to be able to protect them? I'd like to tell you, not only did they protect them, they put together a plan that was so well they never even had to interact with the protesters. We had, just in the command center, there was probably 20 or 30 people. We had the police chief, fire chief, Holly was in there. We had 20 people from the Sumner County Sheriff's Department on site. We had the Sumner County Emergency Response Team, which is SWAT. There was 8 of them on site. Sumner County EMS, we had 5 of those people on site. Sumner County EMA, there was 3 of those on site. Tennessee Highway Patrol, there were 7 of those. We even had somebody from Homeland Security on site. Millersville Department, every officer that was supposed to be there was there. We had 17 of our police officers on site. Fire department had 10 people on site. Other city police departments that were either on standby or involved included White House, Gallatin, Millersville, and I believe Millersville. There was a lot of planning that took place to address what was coming. Thankfully, it wasn't needed. But that just shows you that it was taken very seriously and it was addressed and had a great outcome. There's one person that I would like to especially thank. He's not here tonight, and his name is Glenn Older. He is a reserve officer with the city of Millersville. He has multiple jobs other than his reserve status here in the city. He was very instrumental in putting together the plan that the police department used. That once again, the best thing I can say is there was no news to report with the police department. They anybody had to protest, although they kept a real close eye. Also, would like to thank Smoky Bar News and reporter Jim Ball. Because of him, he live streamed the whole thing. And the police was able to follow what was going on in the crowd through that. So for anybody that thinks that Millersville does not take certain things serious, this is not the place you want to come and get out of line, because we will deal with it. Also, there's been a lot of negative stuff going around on Facebook. It doesn't bother me in the least. It does tend to bother other people, as it should. I would ask everybody to give that all the credit that it deserves, which is none, because none of them will call you back. I've put my number out on that site 3 or 4 times. They all want to talk to the mayor. But none of them, as far as I'm concerned, will call me back. So, if they want to voice their opinion, they are welcome to come to this meeting, sit right out there and say whatever they want to say. They ought to man up and say it to our face instead of just using a Facebook page to do it, where nobody knows who they are. So, with that said, we'll move on to the regular business. Item number 3, approved minutes from the August 18th, 2020 regular commission meeting. Call for motion.
Move that we approve the minutes from the August 18th, 2020 regular commission.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Item number 4, approve the minutes from the September 15th, 2020 regular commission meeting. Call for a motion.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from the September 15, 2020 regular commission meeting.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
I abstain.
Motion carries with 1 abstention. Item number 5, approve the September 2020 financial report. Call for a motion.
Move that we approve the September 2020 financial report as presented.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Item number 6, public hearing. We have 2 tonight. If you wish to speak, just stand up and give your name and address. First one is ordinance 20-749, an ordinance to amend the Millersville Code of Ordinances, Chapter 82, Utilities, Article 2, Sewers, Division 7, Rates and Charges, Section 82-206. I'll now open for public hearing. Can't hear you.
Highway. We're all voting this month.
I don't know, we're having a public hearing right now.
Go on this, we're talking about our sewer.
Yes, it's the next one.
Yes.
In my opinion, Assistant Mayor Bell and that record that I voted is in wins on sewer. The high prices are going up, has nothing to do with it, they don't bother them at all. Like this, that way.
Okay. Anyone else? Hearing none, I'll close the public hearing. Second public hearing, City's 2019-2020 annual MS4 report, Phase 2, small municipality separate storm sewer system. Now open for public comment. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Item number 7, second reading of ordinance 20-749, an ordinance to amend the Millersville Code of Ordinances, Chapter 82, Utilities, Article 2, Sewers, Division 7, Rates and Charges, Section 82-206. Passed first reading, 9/15/2020. Call for motion.
Move that we approve an ordinance 20-749, which is an ordinance setting the rates and charges for users of the city's sanitary sewer system as authorized by the Millersville Code of Ordinances, Chapter 82, Utilities, Article 2, Sewers, Division 7, Rates and Charges, Section 82-206.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? I have one. Mr. City Attorney, is there anything that would prohibit Commissioner Gregory or Vice Mayor Bell from voting on this?
What is the reason, why would there be a concern about y'all?
Because they're not on city sewer.
Okay. I don't think that would have any impact on their ability to vote.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote, and it'll be a roll call vote. Commissioner Gregory.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Bell. Commissioner Doris.
No.
Commissioner Petty.
Aye.
And I vote aye. Motion carries by vote 4-1. Item number 8, first reading on ordinance 20-750, cities and municipal floodplain zoning ordinance, update the FEMA floodplain map. Call for motion.
Move that we approve of first reading ordinance 20-750, which is the city's municipal floodplain zoning ordinance, which is an update to FEMA's floodplain map.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Item number 9, award the bid for street paving and authorize the city manager to execute the contract. Call for a motion.
Move that we award the bid for street paving and authorize the city manager to execute the contract. And I guess I'll go further to award the bid for city street paving to Rogers Group. Is that correct?
Yes.
Dr. Drew.
Rogers Group and authorize the city manager to execute the contract.
Second.
Rogers Group being the lowest and best bidder.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Any idea when this might start?
Actually, I just talked to Tyler at Rogers Group. They are, they've got a lot of projects going, but he said they're waiting to hear back on this project. And the asphalt plant that they're using to get the hot mix for us will not be closing down, so they want to get on it and get with it and go with it till the project's completed. So they're anxious to start. I can't give you a date when they'll start, but from everything that I've learned from talking to Tyler and the Rogers Group, they're ready to go on this project as soon as they get to work. So I think by the time I start to execute the project, maybe a week, 10 days, they'll be ready to go. That was the indication I got.
Good, thank you.
So I think it'll take at least that to get the contract completed.
The only thing I've got to say with it, I disagree with some streets getting paid, some streets are not getting paid. And because I've seen a lot of streets here that's only been paid over 20 years and they're just paid. And there's a lot of streets been paid a whole lot sooner than that. And I realize that you're going to get more traffic, but no traffic gets no more traffic on the start going up out here. And it hasn't been paid in years too. And it didn't be paid. I know it is, but it still needs to be paid. But go back to our city streets, like I said, there's a lot of streets that have been paid over 20 years. And a lot of people travel that road, them roads a lot. The school bus travel, you know, and we keep getting paid. So that's the only objective I got is that the streets, some streets should be getting paid, not being paid.
Mr. Mayor, in the packet, I gave commissioners a copy of the master road list. I wanted you to have that so we can immediately, after this project's over, we can, Jerry and Dan and myself, we went over the road. We drove over these roads to determine if they were going to stay on the list or come off the list. But we will start working on the next tranche of roads that need to be done for next budget cycle or whenever money's become available. But I want you to have this road, and I would like your input on what you've been seeing out there. The scoring on this master list, in my opinion, needs to be relooked at. Because when we went over the roads, some of the ones that were scored one way did not score out the way we did on our score sheet. But we went over them 2 or 3 times just to make sure we were all in agreement. And but I want you to have this list so we can start looking at the next bunch. I think it's important to the ones that didn't get on there. The list that was made, when we went over that list, every one of them warranted a road repair, a payment. So we made sure we had the scoring correct and the numbers of customers on there. And I just feel like it's a good list. We'll start on the next bunch for the next budget period, and we'll get that to you long before we have to vote on it again. So I just want you to have the information and to know that we're looking at this as an ongoing project. This is not the end of it.
I got one question. Are there things scheduled for Dead Yard Road to be paid?
What's the
Dead Yard Road? I mean, part of it is drafted.
It's not on this list for now. But we'll just have to look at that for next time.
All the other roads have pavement on them. After that road up there, it's gravel. Y'all go to the right anytime you want to. Check it out. That's all I got. I do realize we have got that, bus terminal there going in up 13. Are they going to do anything on the roads?
I really have no idea. Andrew may know. You have any ideas, Andrew? Andrew, do you have any ideas?
There's going to be a lot of heavy traffic on it.
Yeah, I know.
It is gravel there, so I guess the traffic won't hurt you.
Well, I know that basically what's past the pavement is Pitt's excavating company. I don't know that there's another business past that.
Where's that bus terminal? Where that bus thing in up there? That's gravel there.
The main drive for it is asphalt. It's asphalt up in front of the all things front.
Yeah, it's not all that from it.
Well, the main entrance for the bus thing is down there next to that house. Or at least I thought it was, I could be mistaken.
Well, then, the two more businesses that pay, there's a house that pays, 2 more houses pay that right there. He wait before you get kids.
I don't, nobody living those at the present time?
Yeah, there's somebody living in that house.
They do?
Yeah, there's a house in behind it, one living in it, too. Driveway goes back there too, it's a long driveway.
Yeah, I know there was a business built way back off the road.
And then there's another business right there outside that house, way back off that road.
Yeah, and I don't know what that business is.
That's all I got.
All right. Any other further discussion on the paper? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. It's going to be a voice vote. Commissioner Rick?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Bailey? Aye. Commissioner Doyle? Aye. Commissioner Petty? Aye. And I vote aye. Motion carries unanimously. Item number 10, award the bid for cleaning services for the community center and authorize the city manager to execute the contract. Call for a motion.
Move that we award the bid for cleaning services to the community center and authorize the city manager to execute the contract.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Yes.
Yes.
Who will be awarded?
We're awarding it to the low bid of $720 per month to Give Us This Day company. That'd be Deidre Mitchell. I've met with her, and I met with all the two low bidders on the contract. We will be developing this contract to add the additional cleaning for after events. We discussed at the special call meeting. So that contract will include that. So this bid is for this monthly, but there will be an additional cleaning and additional fee for after those events. And this whole contract would probably be under the $10,000 limit, but with that extra cleaning, it'll go over it a little bit. But I just want to make sure it was brought to the council to vote for, so we wouldn't have an audit issue later on that went over that $10,000.
This the same lady that's been cleaning.
She's the same lady's cleaning now.
When can we get this cleaned to where we can start having rentals on this again?
Well, that's our plan. We discussed that at the special meeting. Our plan is to get this ready to start having rentals in November. But the plan is to do it only 2 days of the weekend, a Friday and a Sunday. So we'd have a day in between to clean and reset up before the next rental comes in. So we're just trying to take it slow, do a trial run for November, December, and we'll see how that goes. And if it works and we make this work, we'll continue to do it.
So it may be January before we have nightly rentals?
Yes.
Could be as late as January before we have nightly rentals.
Melissa, is there anything else you want to share with us on the rentals?
So basically, we're looking at making sure that there's enough time, like Steve said, in between each rental to clean the building and have it up to CDC standards. So to do that, we're kind of basically we're all having a soft opening. We're giving it a shot just doing comprehensive to make sure that everybody's on the same page. Really have things flowing smoothly from the logistics side of it. So then definitely by January, as long as it works, that we're seeing that the building's staying clean and it's staying up to standards, then we'll start trying to be more ready for rentals in January. And we do have people already talking about February, March. So I mean, there's definitely an issue.
Who's going to determine how many people comes in here at one time?
Well, we talked about the specific limit. So we're only going to be renting out 106, the reception hall, and the whole facility. So if somebody wants to rent 106, it's a limit of 25 people. For the reception hall, it's a limit of 100, and the whole building is 150.
Fair enough.
So we're just, like she said, soft opening, give it a chance to see if it'll build back up and see what the COVID is going to do over these months coming ahead. So we don't want to just get too far ahead of us. You get too far ahead of our skis, renting it out in January, February. We want to see what these months are going to do for these, because these are the two big holiday months. So I think we'll rent it out every weekend for November, December, maybe the first weekend in January, and we'll go from there. We'll see how the rentals go. We'll see how the cleaning and setup goes, and we'll make a decision from there. But I think at least we can get started again and start seeing some revenue and start making a community center again.
When she gave us that list last week, it was in our work packet about 25 and then 150 for 106, 100 and 150 overall. It was in our work. You still got your work sheet packet, there's that list in there.
Okay, thank you.
I'm going to be working very closely with the cleaner to make sure they do what we want them to do. So if anybody has any questions about the cleaning, direct it to me, please, and I'll be watching it very closely.
Anything further? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. Be a voice vote. Commissioner Gregory.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Bell. Aye. Commissioner Dort. Aye. Commissioner Pettit.
Aye.
I vote aye. Carried unanimously. Item number 11, award the bid for the 3 police vehicles. Call for a motion.
Move that we award the bid for the purchase of 3
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Who is the bid that we're going, who will be appointed to bid?
The hunts.
I passed out a sheet, an extra sheet for you guys. It was, looks like this right here, Hunt, Ford, Chrysler.
Yeah, I have it.
Okay, that's who's getting the bid. That is a, slightly over the amount that the government contractors, offer by about $400 or $600. The issue here is we can get these vehicles right away. Otherwise, we're gonna have to wait maybe after the holidays to get them, and that just delays, the whole process. Is there, anything you want to add to that, Chief? You worked on this project.
Yeah, the one thing that I would like to add is most of the commissioners, I'm sure, remember, last year we bought through Hunt Ford and we were able to get our trucks in like 6 to 8 weeks. When we went through the state contract price, which Ford of Millersville had, it took us like 10 months to get them. So, and I never could get the salesman down there to call me back. He would never return my calls. He wouldn't answer my text messages. Had a really hard time dealing with him. We get the vehicles a lot quicker doing this, and for the difference in price, it's a lot easier to deal with this dealership up here, and they're a lot closer by too.
Do you have any idea of what a police car or a police SUV is running?
What the price on them would be? Not off the top of my head, I sure don't. The last time that we priced them, when I originally done this for last year, the Ford Explorer SUVs that a lot of your departments are going to, they were just under $30,000, and the F-150s was like $500 more than what the Explorers were. I would have to pull that information for you to tell you 100% for sure, but it was between $500 and $800 a vehicle for the SUVs versus the F-150s.
So just so everybody knows, the three vehicles that we're looking at purchasing are $30,406 a piece, correct?
Yes, correct.
For a total of $91,218.
I believe Mark mentioned too, these trucks from Hunt, I did find is they include a spray in there.
Yes, which is also not considered on the state contract price.
What are you taking out of service, put these in place on?
The vehicles that we're looking to take out of service right now are the 2010 Chevy Malibu that CID is currently running, and the two Tahoes that are 2013 models. Those will be the three vehicles we pull out with these three.
So you're going to sell them out?
That's the last of the Tahoes?
That'll be the last of the Tahoes. The oldest vehicles we would have after these go into service would be our 2016 Chargers.
How long have you had the Tahoes?
Since 2013.
Really? That's pretty good.
How much over 100,000 will they have on?
I would be afraid to guess right now. I know they're probably pushing close to 200,000. One of them I think's got like 158,000. One of them's got maybe 170,000, something like that. That's just a guess though. I mean, there's 16 vehicles in the fleet, and it's really hard to keep on my head how many miles on each one of them.
Yeah. We're talking about the Tahoe.
Yes, the Tahoes.
Good.
Yeah, on that line total, I was thinking last year it was like 31,000 we had out there instead of 30,000. What we had to pay last year. It was 31 per vehicle instead of 30, which I think we're saving now.
I don't have that paperwork in front of me, but yeah, it's really close to exactly what we paid for them last time.
Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. Commissioner Gregory?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Bell? Aye. Commissioner Norris? Aye. Commissioner Pettit? Aye. I vote aye. Motion carried unanimously. Item number 12, citizens' comments. If anyone wishes to speak, just raise your hand. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Rachel Wolf, Millersville Public Library, 1174 Millersville Highway. And here is our latest report. We have 3,105 people come in last month, which is amazing considering we're still at 50% capacity for the library. So we limit the number of people who can be in at one time, but we're still getting those people. And one of the ways that we're doing that is we are having programs outside. So we've changed all of our storage times that we for the kids in the homeschool storage stores to be outside our parking lot. So if you guys drive by on Wednesday mornings or Friday mornings, you'll see a bunch of kids out there playing around and doing some crafts. So we've actually just taken everything that we do inside the library and moved it out into the parking lot. We're even bringing out books, we're checking books out for the kids, we have craft kits that they can take home. And everything that we do is for free to the community. So you guys have it. So you can go ahead and bring them by. We'd love to see them. The other thing that we're doing, last week, we had a caribou track from the National Zoo come in. And that was a lot of fun. And they're actually going to come back again this Wednesday. So that's at 3 o'clock. I think it was just as much fun to be adults as it was for the kids. We were just as excited to see them. We are going to have a Halloween day again this year. It's here in the community center, but it's going to be outside. So last year we were able to do it inside when it rained. We're not going to be able to do that this year. So everybody, fingers crossed, pray for good weather. But we will be outside. It will be Halloween day. It's super high o'clock. So bring the kids. We'd love to see you guys. We'll have different vendors that are bringing tables and they're bringing out treats. We're going to have games, temporary tattoos, community one. We'll have all kinds of fun stuff. And if you guys haven't had a chance to get on our Facebook page, we're starting our pumpkin decorating contest. So all you have to do to enter is decorate a pumpkin, and we have a little card that you print out and take a picture in front of it. People are voting on our Facebook page, and you win this huge thing of candy that I have to tell you, I'm sending my girls off with this stick right now, so you guys better appreciate this candy. This good stuff. So that's what we're doing right now. Anybody have any questions?
I can't wait, and I'm gonna challenge you all to come and see me and my wife in our costume. Okay? But I want to ask you one question. Have you coordinated with the police department for people that might want to park across the street, kids come across, so we can monitor that?
That is a good question. I will get with them tomorrow.
Just get with me.
Just after work, yes.
Okay, great, because we want, I mean, these are the types of things that bring the community together, and people can come out and do some real positive things and not fuss about Facebook all the time, man. So I think this is great. I hope everybody can come out. So anything that we can do on that, we can do it.
And they helped us out last year. They walk off the parking lot and make sure that that way we don't have to worry about people coming in and traffic. So everybody parks below where they can park across the street.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Clark.
No, I'm fine. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Deborah Chadwick, 253 Gideon Road, and I'm glad Jerry is here tonight because our grinder pump went out last Monday. There was a little communication snafu, but the two young men who fixed it, they stayed till it was done, kind of started to rain out, and they did a nice job. So,
Good job, Jerry.
so I just wanted to compliment.
Is that all you got?
I'm amazed.
Race like yours was.
Anyone else?
Keith, you don't have no races over.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. City Attorney, do you have any comments?
I'll just give a shout out to Steve Colley. Welcome him. We met last week and he's got some good ideas and I think he's going to do a good job. And also a big thank you to Holly Murphy, who's been doing his job up until 3 weeks ago, plus city recorder. So I don't know what she'll do with her spare time. You know,
You'll find
but I
something to do.
want to thank both of them and look forward to working with Steve.
I appreciate your comments, but she's still doing my job.
City manager's comment.
I got a couple things, and I try to highlight the positive things, Mayor. I'll wait to keep my negative comments for Friday. But I'm glad we're doing this Halloween thing, but I've asked Melissa and Brandon Head to lead the Christmas parade planning, and we got that set up for December 12th. Getting a lot of questions on that. I think that's going to be a good thing. We are on track. I've been meeting with the OHM and Boger every day, sometime during the day, to make sure that the City Hall project is on track. We're looking at December 1st for them to be complete. They want to be complete. We want them to be complete. We have some plans also to do something special at City Hall when it gets done. There's quite a bit of confusion about one RFP or the other, but we've got everybody on the same page, everybody in the same room to talk about the design, the RFPs, whether it's audiovisual, furniture, telephones, access control doors, systems, all of that. We've pulled all that together. The closed circuit TV, all that's being coordinated. When you get to this part in any construction, it's like building a house, you start looking at the fixtures and all the things that go in a house. It's what it's like. We're at that point. So we're trying to pull that all together and coordinate that. You mentioned something about the protest earlier, and I didn't want to interrupt you, but I want to tag on to that. When I met with the department heads, I met with the police department the first week I was here, we talked a little bit about that, and one of the things that I recognize that there's a huge opportunity here for Millersville to tell this story, just like you repeated it tonight, how the command post was set up, the people that were involved, the communication, all the support in the surrounding areas with mutual aid. All of that needs to be told in a story. And I am working with Glenn, and we are putting together a presentation that will tell that story and will document that so we can present that to other small cities and towns through TML, through any outlets that we can. I'll be attending the TCMA the first of the month, and I'll be telling this story there. If I have the presentation ready, I'll present it there. But this is a great opportunity to tell a story, because it never hurts to have good news. And as you all know, Channel 5, Channel 4, they're never out of room of telling bad stories or picking up on the bad and the negative. And I think this is a good story to tell. So I just want to let you know, this out of the ashes, maybe it come a great thing will happen. I think we are enormously lucky. Nothing really bad happened. Nobody got hurt. Nobody was killed. No buildings were burned down. And I think that's a great success story. And that story needs to be told. So I'm in the process of putting that together. If anybody wants to contribute or have any input on that, I'm sure we'll go around and interview some people and get some information. But you're right. Glenn was a big part of that, and he and I are working on putting that together. So with that being said, I had a conversation with Channel 5 News the last couple of days, and I asked him he wanted a comment from the city on a story they're going to run tonight, so you need to get home at 10 o'clock so you can see it. Because I do think the story has a lot of disinformation, and that's unfortunate, but the thing is, we will eventually get the story out, and the story will get out. But I worked with Attorney Oldham today on a statement for the Channel 5, and basically we just said there's an investigation going on. We're all aware of it. They're aware of it. Everybody's aware of it. And when this investigation's over, we will deal with it. And if the investigation brings the information to us that something has to be done, I want you all to know it will be dealt with swiftly and correctly and properly, and that's how we're going to handle it. So I will be the voice of the city with the news outlets. I've spoken to all the department heads. If they're approached or called or text or email, they're supposed to turn that to me and let me deal with the statements, and I'll be working through Attorney Oldham to do that. So I just want to let everybody know we have our side of the story, but we're going to keep our powder dry until all of this is done, and then we can tell this story, how it's playing out. I keep saying this, there's always, you know, bad people do bad things sometimes good people do bad things. But we have to continue to stay vigilant and do the right things. And that's what we intend to do. So Mayor, with that, I'll turn it back over to you. Thank you for allowing me some time.
I wanted to go back to what you mentioned about the protests. I would like to say, as you mentioned, that I was in that command center the night of the protest, and I have to give kudos to Chief Palmer. I have never really seen police in action, thank goodness, but behind the scenes, that night, I was so impressed with everything that was going on and everyone there. And Mark had a phone in both ears all the time, talking on the radio and talking to multiple people all while everything was going on all night long. And Chief Head was also very vigilant, involved in everything going on. But I just want to say that I was very impressed at the way he was communicating with everyone he had in different places. And so I think everything went really good.
Well, they protected our city so well. I like to give them a round of applause since you're right here. I think it's a great job protecting our city. Appreciate it. All of you.
All right, item number 15, Commissioner's comments. Mr. Gregory.
I got a little bit, not much. But I would like to thank Mr. Perry and our planning and zoning commissioners for, we're rather new together, and we're also new with the zoning ordinances, but we're picking up, getting better, and getting closer together, and our decisions are more professional. I heard tonight, and I've heard in a while, and I do appreciate each and every one of the volunteers that come in here, that give their time on this commission and help our city to grow and further itself. So I appreciate all of y'all, so thank you. And one more thing. Are we going to have anything on the work session about the property across the road?
By the way, I don't know if everybody knew that property that we agreed to bid 50, it went for 51, and we did not get the bid.
I haven't heard anything about them.
Well, the reason I was asking is I understand that he's willing to talk to us. Can't think of his name. Winston Template, Mr. Template, about maybe working together with him on that property of the city. Well, if that's okay with you, Mr. Merrick, we discussed on work session sometime.
Mr. Template approached anybody, the city manager about anything?
I'd be glad to.
No, has he approached?
Oh, he has not approached me on anything.
So he hasn't.
No, he hasn't talked to me about what his plans are for that. And well, wait a minute. Let me back up. We had a meeting with him the other day, and at the end of the meeting, I don't know if y'all heard this, but he said, "If you want to buy it for 51, I'll sell it to you for 51."
Okay.
So that may be something we can talk about at the work session.
That's all right, Mr. Merrick, if we can do that.
Yeah, I have no problem talking about it. I can work it.
Good, thank you.
Well, we're going to get somewhere.
That's right.
Mr. Dorsey?
I kind of agree with David. I said into that planning zoning meeting over there. I was impressed with the questions that was asked and the people that was all sitting there paying attention. I was watching them, and I think they were all real concerned, and I think they had a lot of good questions. And I'd like to thank them too, because it is a tough job, what they're having to do. But I'd like to thank all of them for doing it.
Absolutely.
Thank
That's all I got.
Mr. Ted? Yeah, I have one. Vice Mayor. Yeah, about that property across the street. That sign was leased by someone else. Did you ever?
After I saw the final bid, I didn't look it up.
Okay. Yeah.
I wanted to thank Holly, the city manager, the mayor, Chief Palmer, Chief Head, and everybody that participated in protecting our city during the protest. The mayor and I spoke on the telephone a couple times, but I really do feel I'm very happy to live in Millersville. It really, the chief really made, and I also want to give accolades I also want to congratulate the chief on the Kona Eyes that he did for the community. I'm sure the city manager worked with that, but I thought that was a good public relations statement for the kids and for playing on the basketball court. I mean, the last time that we played against the police, I don't know if you remember, they cheated.
Beat them bad, didn't we?
They cheated. And
they did cheat.
Played with the kids and really helped that out. They helped the neighbor, helped.
Hey, us three old men beat them.
Yeah.
Mr. Colley, us three old men was out there for an hour playing full court, and they show up. They want to play us. We still beat them.
Cheated.
Did we? Oh, you got a gun? No, y'all won.
Again, I'd like to thank the police department. I'm telling you, people in the public, you may not think you will ever need the police department or the fire department, but I know a lot of people that I've dealt with in the last 35, 40 years with my involvement in the city that felt the same way. And then they woke up to a fire, or had a loved one that was struggling at the time, or had somebody break into their house, or have an unruly situation, and the police show up, or the fire department show up, and it kind of opens their eyes. So don't take the police department, the fire department for granted. I'm telling you, there's places in this county that does not have the level of fire and police protection.
Correct.
And with that, I'll call for a motion to adjourn.
We adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
All right.
Hey.